Hi, everybody. Bob Hui here from Wild Rose Toastmasters, and my friend Joy Lardner is here to discuss all sorts of stuff. Hi, Joy.
Yeah. Hi, Bob. Hi, everybody. It's Joy
I'm,
Lardner here.
I'm going to start the question that I do with everybody.
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit about your Toastmaster journey and why you joined Wild Rose.
Okay. All of my life, like throughout university and throughout high school, university, I've always wanted to have be able to do public speaking, and I couldn't. Like in junior high, I ran for student council, and there
Oh,
were only two. There were only two people running, me and this other girl. And my speech was just so terrible, like my knees were knocking. And so the other girl won. I just did miserably. Then I got into university, and I tried as part of the marketing club in business. I joined created a speakers club with
mhm.
uh, another student, and I was still nervous. Then in 1989, I was at ATCO, and they put up a big sign. Ron Chapman was leading
Oh,
the
okay. Yeah.
big sign, "See you at No Toastmasters." And one of my friends said, "Come along, there's going to be food. It'll be fun." And so I went, and I ended up joining See You at Noon. That was in 1989. I was so nervous. I was the last of the 40 people. I was the last person to do my icebreaker. However, I was the first person in the club, besides Ron Chapman and the people who came in with their DTMs. I was the first person in the club to get their DTM.
Wow.
And it just ballooned from there. I worked through the program, then started doing things like workshops with uh, at various conferences. I entered speech contests. I made it to district level. I placed at the evaluation contest level, and I didn't place at the international. I made it to what's the one before district?
Division.
Divisional with the speech contest. Yeah, probably placed second or third there. So I didn't move on to district with that, but I did get to district with evaluations.
Wow.
And I just started loving it and started loving the confidence that I got. And continued on. I was with See You at Noon for a long time. And then because of my job, when I wasn't able to make the weekly meetings at noon,
Mhm.
I thought I'd for a more advanced club. And that's when I joined uh, Wild Rose. And I believe that was in 2018 that I
Oh,
joined.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that long, but I was in. So I've been a Toastmaster for 35 years, but most of my time was as a charter member at See You at Noon Toastmasters,
Wow.
and the last 6 years at
You've been
Wild.
doing this longer than I have. I started in 91. I'm in
Yeah,
my
thanks.
34th year now.
Yeah, and I love the confidence. I love that it's like riding a bicycle. We did My husband and I, we just did a speech at our son's wedding, and no nervousness at all, right? We're both very comfortable at getting up in front of people, and you can see other people get up and do speeches and they're nervous, and it's just, I love the fact that it took away the nervousness being a Toastmaster a long time ago. Yeah.
Who knew that your son would benefit from your Toastmasters experience?
Yes. And yeah, and well, him and my son and my husband are both none of them have been in Toastmasters, and they feel natural. They can speak naturally, I feel. But for
Mhm.
me, it was I had to learn. It was a learned experience. At the very first Toastmaster meeting, I couldn't even stand up and say my name without my palms getting sweaty.
Wow.
Yeah, and the first role I took was our counter, and I went home and practiced in the mirror at length. My name is Joy. I'm the our counter. This is my role. Practice and practice and practice until I got
Okay.
it. Yeah.
It's funny. I think a lot of people, when, for example, when people see you speak, you're well spoken, you carry yourself well, you've got, good use of the space, those kinds of things. And they forget that you started with what you just told me. Same with
Yeah.
people go, oh, you're such a good, yeah, but you should have seen me when I first started. I wasn't. I really wasn't. I wanted to be because I wanted to be a professional speaker and travel the world, but I was horrible. I was pathetic. I've jokingly said to people, I'm really glad there was no video back in those days because it would be embarrassing as heck to see me when I first started. And yet in some ways it'd be nice to say, look, you're worried about, look at me when I first started, yuck, that, but I kept after it. That's the key.
Yeah, just keep going. Because I remember doing my icebreaker too, and the feedback I got, which is stop fidgeting, stop playing with your pen, stop crossing and crossing your ankles. Um, and I never thought that I could do evaluations
Mm,
because that was so much thinking on your feet. But then I developed this sort of framework for myself, which is
okay.
uh, start with whether they met the objectives, three strengths, two
Okay.
suggestions for improvement, and then a wrap up. And then I was started winning contests, so it
Yeah.
was good.
Well, it's funny sometimes when you have a system
Yeah,
that works for you, you can build on it. That's like with me when I first started doing speeches. I
yeah.
wrote my speeches the way they taught us in school how to write compositions, point, subpoint, with the outline and stuff, which is a great way to write. It's a lousy way to write for speeches. And
Oh,
I've told people some of my original speeches for my first year, for my first 10, made great chapters for some of my books
oh, good.
because they
That's
were
really
really
good.
well written, but they were really tough to deliver because it's not the way you speak. And
Yeah,
eventually somebody taught me how to do mind mapping in terms of you got all these ideas, you just put them out, whatever, and then okay, this one sort of fits here, this one fits here, and okay, then this one's the most important. I'll talk about that first. And it becomes a system so that you can sit down very quickly and diagram a presentation, but that took me a couple of years to figure out. I had all those
oh,
miserable speeches that people had to put up with, for the first
oh,
little
like a
while.
one-page mind map. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
good.
yeah. And it works. It works for me. I can sit down and just I just sketch and what would I talk about? And here's some ideas. And then you think about, okay, how should I organize it? Well, okay, here's point one, point two, that kind of thing. And it
And you
makes
draw it out.
and I draw it out and then I don't have to look at it because, I remember teaching people when we used to teach at the colleges in Vancouver. And people said, I'm amazed you can get up and do speeches without any notes. And I said, you want to know how to do that? Want to do a speech for 20 minutes without notes? It's like that simple. You got an opening, 3 points, and a conclusion. That's it. And if you get a longer speech, you've got some ideas and examples, but basically opening, 3 points, like Toastmasters used to say, tell us what you're going to tell us, and then tell us what you told us. You know,
Yeah,
it's not rocket science. It's just once you get the basic in place, then you just work it. Like I told people
yeah.
that,
And it took a while for me to move from writing it all out and then moving to points,
yeah,
just going to the points and then
yeah.
to having the points trigger you. Yeah,
Well, and it depends on who you are. Some people still write it out, and if that works for you, great. What I did was I did that, and then I started taking from that and say, okay, here's a sentence. And when I was in my first year, I started doing the basics of my speech on the back of a business card. And I'd put it in my steering wheel and I'd practice it when I was driving from New Westminster over to Vancouver. People probably thought I was crazy because I'm doing this and talking, and like point, I just like one word or a couple of words would tell me what that paragraph was about, but I'd written it out. And then and then eventually I thought, well, like, I don't have to do this. I'll just go right to this.
yeah, that's great. That's really cool.
Well,
Yeah, and there's muscle memory, right? Like when you go like
yeah.
this, it means you're gonna say this, and
Well, you find out what works for you. And that's for me, that's the best part of Toastmasters is that you get to practice. You get to find your style,
yeah,
to find what works for you, and then you practice in front of a live audience, and they love you and they give you feedback and say, that's good, but here's what make it better.
yes,
That's what you do when you're doing evaluations. You're helping people grow. You're helping people get better. And that's
exactly.
something that we do that probably no other organization does. We help people develop better parts of themselves and move ahead to speak.
Yeah, and I remember at the beginning, people would ask, like, "Why are you still in Toastmasters?" And I'd say, "Well, it's like playing a piano. You have to keep practicing, right? You have to
Yeah.
just keep practicing, keep that skill up for sure." Yeah, but I love that. I never thought I'd be able to be confident in speaking. I used to be so
Really?
nervous. Yeah.
And yet when we see you speak now, you come across very confident.
Yeah. And I feel confident.
Yeah.
It is a learned skill. I tell people it's a
It
learned skill.
shows. It shows.
Thanks. Yeah. It's great.
But the thing is, I interviewed the first one of these I did was Peter Kosselman, because I figured, at 93, I wanted to make sure I got him while he was, still really there for us, and hopefully still here for years, I'm hoping. And he
Yeah.
told me that at 93, going on 94, he's still learning.
Yeah.
And I thought, how cool is that?
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's so impressive. It's just, and he's sharp as a tack. Like he can do table topics without hesitation. He can just,
Yeah. Yeah.
or yeah.
Like you say, he's been doing it for a long time, And I interviewed Neil Wilkinson this afternoon, and same thing. We chatted about things, and this has been the best part of this is I'm getting to, even though I know some of our members well, I'm getting to know them even better.
Yeah.
Because
It's,
part of the process with this is to say, I think one of the assets that we have as a Wild Rose Toastmasters are the people who are Wild Rose Toastmasters. And that's part of what I'm saying is, hey, check out this really amazing person. If you like her, come and hang out with her. Maybe you want to join and be part of her club.
yeah. I love our club. Like everyone is so kind and supportive. All of them. They've been
Yeah,
here for a while and
yeah.
strong and helpful. Yeah.
Well,
It's good.
and the funny thing is that doesn't take anything away from what you do if you can support other people because they return the favor and everybody wins.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The other
so
thing I was gonna say, the other thing I did about which was kind of fun. I really went through this process of like going full force into Toastmasters and wrote a couple of articles for the Toastmaster magazine and
no, did
yeah,
you?
yeah, I did one
Uh,
why I joined Toastmasters and I did one about journaling, writing down
yeah.
your
Okay.
thoughts and your speech to create speeches.
See, I
So,
never knew that. I probably
oh,
saw the article in the magazine, but I didn't, maybe it didn't connect it. So,
oh, that's okay. Yeah, there's still time.
well, you're a woman of many talents.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, Toastmasters has helped a lot, a lot. I don't
Yeah.
think I'd be where I was.
Yeah.
But work-wise too, being able to do presentations at work,
Yeah.
uh, you really need to have those skills to
Yeah.
come across confidently. Yeah,
So
it's
you,
good.
you feel Toastmasters has been really helpful to you.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Like I wouldn't be where it has opened a lot of doors. I wouldn't have all the things I'm like right now. I'm doing improv and acting and all that stuff, and I wouldn't have had the confidence if I hadn't done Toastmasters and doing speeches for people and entering the contests and doing presentations and workshops. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
been
good. Well, for those, depending when this plays, Joy's going to be doing some work on improv for the September meeting. So, you know,
yeah.
if we play this, maybe we'll play this before that meeting so that we can promote you. I'll just have
Oh,
to.
great.
Well, I just found out that um, Violet Wallace is speaking on Thursday, and I've done one of her interviews, so I may run that one tomorrow, saying, "Hey, come and support Violet on Thursday, and come and listen," that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah,
get double bang for the buck sort of thing.
sure. That sounds good.
Well, I mean, why not?
Yeah,
We got some amazing people in our club, and we're we're growing back up. We're gaining members right, left, and center. I mean, we gained 5 or 6 right in the last couple of months, like June and July.
yeah,
All of a sudden, there was that big push, and that's good. I'm happy about that, not because of the numbers, but because of the energy and what it's going to do in terms of having enough people to run a meeting effectively, so that people aren't phoning around trying to find somebody to do one of the things that you've got enough people to do things that you can show a good meeting. So like every meeting is a demo meeting.
yes,
And when people
absolutely.
come, they see that Wild Rose really is an advanced club. And if that's what they want to do to get better, then they should think about joining us.
Yeah, and I hope they do. I hope they come out and check us out and join too, because we've got a lot of good people. It's a good
There
club.
are,
Yeah.
there are. And for those of you watching, we normally meet the last Thursday of the month, with the exception of June and December, where we have a different meeting. And we'd love to see you. We'd love to have you come and join us. Literally come and join us, but come and visit us for sure. And then if you like it and you qualify and you feel it's a good club for you, then talk to our VP membership and become a member. We would love that.
Yes, join us.
Join us. All right. Well, thank you very much, Joy.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. That was fun.